Hello, everyone. My guest today is Cory Warfield. After 20 years working in restaurants, he started his company ShedWool to solve the pain point of scheduling, making every day working in restaurants suck. He's focused again on making that much easier with his smart shift scheduling software. Cory, are you ready to take us to the top?
100%.
All right. Tell us about this tool. How does it work and how do you make money?
Absolutely. So we're a SaaS-based company. We have our web mobile responsive suite of softwares, and then we're on the iOS and the Android Google Play Store. And so I created the company about 3 years ago out of need. I spent decades in the restaurant industry where every day is a problem with scheduling, from management to servers and bartenders. And if there's too many people, you don't make enough money. If there's not enough people, you work way harder and somehow still don't make enough money. And so basically, we'd been using some softwares for some years that really did help kind of solve for the on-call, figuring out when you worked and getting your optimal schedule, and that was taken away due to price. So I did a little poking around, saw that there wasn't really anything available on the market that was affordable and robust. And over the years of using some of the other tools, we would always say like, oh, I wish it did this, or I wish it did this, or if it did this, that would be so much better. So I put together a team and I created the tool that I wished I would have had at my disposal for about 20 years in the industry. And it's kind of taken its own life. We're now live in hospitals, fire departments, police departments. We have a handful of hotel chains, restaurants, universities, sports teams using the application. So we really feel as though we've kind of cracked the code on how to schedule shifts, as they pertain to different industries, anything kind of from athletics to the medical and health industries.
Yeah, very interesting. And when you say shifts, is this typically a manager putting a shift like planner together, or it's the actual employees, like they use it to check in and check out and things like that?
Absolutely. So we're almost live with our geofence. We'll actually be able to clock in and out through the app as well. Right now, we track all their time, and it's really it's a connectivity and communication platform. So employees can go on, see when they're working, request time off, swap shifts with one another. Management has that oversight and insight into who's working to make sure that they're properly staffed. And we're leveraging several partnerships to actually let managers hire both full-time and temporary qualified workers through the platform. So we're getting into the payroll space, we're getting into the hiring space, and then we find that kind of time management and shift scheduling is the linchpin that all of these things kind of revolve around. So that's really what we're solving from the ground up.
Okay, so without going down every kind of customer cohort, on average, what's a customer pay per month for this?
Right. So our price point currently is $39 per month per location. So if you're a mom and pop store, you're paying $39 a month. We also offer $390 a year pricing. So you kind of get 2 months free when you pay up front. That said, we're moving more into a licensing model in Q1 of next year, where it'll be $29 per manager that needs access to the tool. And it's always going to be free for the employees. We've seen some of our competitors charge the employees for the download of the app and usage, and we don't think that's right.
Yep. So just to be clear though, if you look at your base today, is it fair to say, the average is paying $39 a month?
Yep.
Okay, very good. So most of them are kind of one location mom and pop shops.
No, so actually our average user has about 10 locations, so they're paying closer to $400 a month.
Okay, yeah. So then $39 a month is not your average. $400 a month is your average.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, good. I want to learn more about the sales cycle and how you're landing these. It sounds like you came from this industry, but tell us kind of how successful you've been landing these customers. What are you at today in terms of total customers?
So we have about 50 paying customers on the platform. We're really trying to grow out of a freemium model. So we've had dozens and dozens of companies using us for free. That's kind of coming out of an open beta where we really wanted user feedback, and we're really just looking to get more eyeballs on the platform. So we just started charging the middle of this year, and so we've grown to about 50 paying customers. That said, I brought on a sales team. My director of sales is phenomenal. He spent almost 10 years at LinkedIn before joining our team, and so he's kind of got us set up in HubSpot with the CRM. He's talking kind of to some of the higher level people, and we have 3 international companies. One's a Fortune 50 company that's reached out. They want to figure out not only how to get us live on their B2B SaaS platform, but also to use us company-wide. They'd be our first 7-figure client.
Okay. So just to be clear though, today, 50 customers, $400 a month, what you're doing about 20 grand a month right now?
No. So I mean, that multi-unit concept is not every user. We definitely do have users that only have one location.
Well, that's why I asked an average.
I mean, I'd have to get with my team. We've been growing this last couple of weeks in both revenues and sales. So I guess, I mean, really
average. Cory, just give me a better idea today of like, what are you at in terms of total monthly revenue?
Yeah, we're like 2K MRR.
Okay, 2K. Okay, yeah, that's very different, right? So 2K and MRR, right? So all you have to do is take 2K divided by 50 customers to get an average of what is that, about $40 a month?
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean that ties back to what you said earlier, which is usually it's a one person mom and pop shop paying about $39 a month.
Yeah, and it's somewhat diluted. We're still so early stage that we do have quite a few companies using us at a discount. We do have companies that have prepaid for a year, so that doesn't come in on that MRR. So there are a couple variables, but I think, yeah, you hit it on the head.
Sure. Okay, and you launched it 3 years ago. I mean, how are you funding this thing? Obviously, 2K a month is not enough to pay a team and pay you and everyone else. Have you raised capital?
No, so I bootstrapped the company and I started the company 3 years ago, but we've been live for about a year, charging for about 6 months. So the first almost 2 years was, strictly out of my savings, out of what I was able to put together. Did a very small kind of friends and family. It was non-dilutive, no equity.
How much?
So all in, we're about 45K.
Okay, and that was like you and your friends and family, or just friends and family?
Myself and the friends and family.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so can I ask you this? Look, a lot of founders, like their work, they're out of college, they're 28, 29, no responsibilities. They kind of have a safe job. You, it sounds like, built up a little nest, not huge, but like some nest, and then maybe got out and kind of did your own thing. Where were you getting capital to like that allowed you to kind of build that little nest? And how did you have the confidence to say, okay, I'm jumping in, I'm going full time in this thing?
Yeah, so I'm fortunate. I was able to make about six figures for years as a server before I started the company. So I did have a little savings, and my wife's a massage therapist. So she's been able to kind of keep our head almost all the way above ground. And other than that, I mean, we've had months where we were scared the car would get taken away. We weren't able to make our house payment. I mean, there have been months that were very rough, but I think I figured out within the first 3 months of kind of putting the company together that I needed to not only be full time, but I needed to be all in, fully committed. So, thankfully, I do have people that retain me for consulting. I do have a couple of kind of side hustles that maybe 5 to 10 hours a week that have been able to keep a little bit of money coming in. And thankfully, we did just. We're through diligence, through terms with a small gap round. So that's kind of our first investment is coming this week. The check should hit the bank. And so
How much is it for?
50K.
Okay, good. And are you doing that? Is that debt, like a convertible note, or actual pure equity?
Convertible note.
Oh, okay, that's wonderful. And did you do that like from local investors, or did you have to kind of fly around and take a bunch of meetings?
Well, so I've flown around the country from Cali to New York. I spent about a year on that. Everyone kind of said that our revenue is too low and come back when we were doing that kind of 50K a month revenue when we won't need them anymore. So I spun my wheels for about a year, refining pitch decks, pitching. I went through both an accelerator and a post accelerator. That was about 8 months all in. And
that was up there in Chicago?
No, so my accelerator was in Colorado, and then my post accelerator was in Las Vegas.
Okay.
It was the Global Accelerator Network's first ever post accelerator, which was a lot of fun. No investment at all. No capital other than putting us up in Vegas on and off for 4 months. But it was really cool. I got to meet some international thought leaders, some founders that have built $100 million companies and now have direct access to a lot of them. So it's been fun. This small bridge round that we're taking right now is that evaluation that we passed on a buyout offer recently for. So $5 million, kind of right there in that sweet spot where our revenue doesn't quite justify it, but our traction and our pipeline really does.
That's the valuation you're getting right now is $5 million on 50 raised?
Yeah.
And you had a buyout offer for $5 million and you didn't take it?
Yeah.
No offense, but why on earth would you not take that deal when you look at you're doing $2,000 a month right now in revenue or 24 grand a year? I mean, that's like a massive multiple.
So we have companies in our pipeline right now that'll be $10 million a year clients.
But Cory, come on, that takes like that takes time to close those things. I mean, that's $5 million today versus the risk of building a business, the risk of closing those clients.
Oh, it was a no brainer. I found out that company was authorized to go up to 10, and I still wouldn't have taken it. No way in the world. I've spent 3 years of my savings to get here. This isn't a quick payout for me.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, I'm curious what listeners right now are thinking, because I believe most of them are going, this guy's absolutely insane. Momentum is king. Take a $10 million check when you're only doing $2K a month in revenue and then reinvest that in your next new big idea. I'm sure you have many.
Yeah, we're working on a few.
But you didn't take the check?
No way in the world.
Yeah, I don't understand. So why? I mean, people would say maybe that's irrational.
So earlier this year, a very close competitor of ours was bought by Intuit for $346 million. This space is just heating up and we have some opportunity.
Yeah, but T-Sheets was doing $35 million a year in ARR. We had him on the show and it took him 10 years to get there, right? I bet you, if you gave him in year 1 or 6 months in, if you gave Matt $10 million, he would have taken it immediately and started a brand new company with that win.
Yeah, I mean, I for me, it wasn't even I didn't even think about that offer. I literally countered with 100 million. We know where we're taking this. My original co-founder raised 20 million for his company, brought their valuation to about 150 million dollars. And that was kind of a sad story where they keep taking down round after down round. So they're not.
Well, yeah, because you take a valuation that's unrealistic. That's not realistic. Everyone brags about valuation when you raise capital. It's baloney. I mean, any good negotiator can get a high valuation. It's just a question of like how charming are you, right? And how do you point to like a little bit of business success to grow the valuation? But yeah, VCs know they're going to backfill terms and you're going to have down rounds if you fuck things up.
Yeah, I think that's why we've been super calculated not to take any kind of dumb money. We've had a couple investment offers that we've passed on as well. I think we're really trying to build something of value, and we're really taking the time to do that right. So I now have 14 employees. My director of sales came from LinkedIn, who was doing a $2 million a year quota.
But how are you paying, if you're bootstrapped and you have 14 employees and you're doing $2,000 a month, how are you paying them?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've just been kind of trailing with what I've had in savings, putting what I can into the company. We have a couple. Right now, a lot of my team members, some of them are getting paid, some of them are commission only. A lot of them are filling their pipeline. Our HubSpot's gotten pretty robust. So, I mean, we really feel as though we're on the brink of MRR that is going to justify a much bigger valuation like Q1 next year.
Well, look, I like the confidence. You should come back on in a year and say, Nathan, look, I told you, man. I mean, I made your arguments look weak. Look where we're at now. I would love that. That would make me feel very good. Yeah,
I had who was it? He started AppSumo, Noah Kagan. Noah Kagan was kind of telling me the same thing about a year ago, telling me how this idea had no legs and we had 100 competitors. And
no, by the way, I didn't say that. I didn't say you didn't have legs. But if you had an actual reel, if you actually believe that $5 or $10 million offer was real and it was going to be money in your bank, I would have I don't care how good of an idea I thought I had. If it was only at $2,000 a month in revenue, I would have sold instantly because I know I could take that money and go put it in the next big idea.
We were under 1K a month in MRR when that offer was made about 3 months ago.
Yes, that just underscores my point. I mean, you're saying it like you're proud of it, like you're bragging about it. I'm saying I think it's even crazier.
No, I mean, I think I more so bring that up to say that that's the potential that other people in our space have seen in the product as well. We have a much more current tech stack than a lot of people in our space. We have a lot, we just launched with the first Amazon integration in our space. We have a Google Calendar integration, drag and drop media upload. A lot of things we've taken time to build are going to at least have our competitors looking at their model and their product. And we're really just getting started. I mean, I just brought on a chief strategist that's had some huge successes in his life. We've got a team of people that really believe in this.
Yeah, no, look, that's fine. The belief is good. The team is good. All that. It's just like, well, revenue has to start showing some of this, right? Otherwise, it's like, okay, well, what's going on? And by the way, like Matt got to what he got to, 30 million bucks in ARR by only focusing on ranking number one in the Intuit App Exchange. That was the only thing he focused on. None other distractions, none other like, whatever. He just went all in on that. And it took him a decade, but look, he got a great result from it. So maybe we'll see if you find an integration like that, you can do the same thing. Cory, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Lean Startup by far.
Okay, good. And number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
There are quite a few. I'm really bullish on the Malala Fund, and they have they just launched that fund with a CEO that I think is doing some really cool things. Other than that, I'm always watching Elon Musk, although more and more, I don't agree with some of the things he does, but I've got a lot of respect for him.
Number 3, besides your own, what's your favorite online tool for building a business?
Online tool for building a business.
Yeah, like the tool you use the most.
HubSpot.
Okay, good. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
About 4.
4 hours. What's your situation? Married, single, kids?
I'm married, 2 big dogs.
2 big. Okay, no kids yet. Okay, so 4 hours of sleep. That feels super unhealthy to me. Why so little?
That's been for 3 years since I started the company. I haven't taken one day off. It's just we're talking to different people in different time zones. I've definitely been working on some of the preparations and proposals for some of the Fortune 100 companies we're talking to. I've been in the boardrooms with the C-suite of one of our biggest prospects that want to move forward with us by the end of this year. So there's just no time. I think sleep would be at the detriment of progress. And luckily at a young 40, I don't need much more than I'm getting.
Yeah, interesting. I think a lot of people would argue with you on that, but fair enough. If it works for you, it works. And you said you're 40 years old today?
Yep, 40 and a half.
Okay. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Just to take more risks, not to spend so much time just kind of sitting on a couch laughing, getting to know people, but out there trying to make things happen. I think I spent a lot of time kind of getting to know my earlier self, and if I had known that self would have changed so much, I wouldn't have spent so much time getting to know him.
Guys, take more risks. Great advice there from Cory. Founded ShedWool.com, 50 customers now paying about $40 a month. They're doing $2,000 a month right now in revenue. Raised 40 grand, 45 grand from friends and family. About to raise another 50 grand right now. It's a convertible note. I think he said a $5 million cap on that. They've got a team of 12 people, again, founded back in 2015. Cory, thanks for taking us to the top.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.